We can start, sir. Hello. Okay. A very good morning to all. Today we are here to know more of the information about intellectual property rights. We have our guest for the day, Miss Pooja Menon. Welcome you, ma'am, for the day.
Thank you, ma'am.
To introduce about the guest speaker for the day, Pooja Menon. She is a COO of MY Crave Consultancy and Services. She has completed her BTech in Information Technology and she is holding diploma in Intellectual Property Rights. Additional certification courses to her credits in IPR from RGNIIPM. In total, she is having an industrial experience of 9 years. To introduce about My Crave Consultancy and Services, it is a promoter of patent, copyrights, and trademark and has initiated the propagation of providing the services of filing of IPR at the lowest cost in India. The educational seminars conducted by Micrave team help to build and develop intellectual asset for the institution and also for the individuals attending them. They strive to provide the creative minds for the country with well-deserved recognition and valuation for the novel and artistic asset. They have conducted more than 1,950 seminars addressing 65,000 students and have successfully filed 5,500 IPR in the past 3 years. We have such an eminent speaker for the day. We welcome you, ma'am, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Ma'am, I'll be just sharing my screen so that the presentation is quite visible to all.
Yes, ma'am, please share.
Hello, everyone. A very warm good morning to all of you. So today we'll be learning about the basics of IPR. Basically, it has impacted the education industry, the education sector, the industries a lot in the past few years. And this session will help you to understand how IPR can help you in your further studies, maybe in your career, and whenever you're dedicating 1 hour of your valuable time, you need to know what you're going to take away from here, right? कि आपको as a student, as a faculty, as an educational institute, ये कैसे benefit करेगा, that has to be learned through this session. So let's begin one by one. So basically, there are two types of property. One is called the physical property, other is called the intellectual property. Now, physical property you all are very well aware of. Now, if you ask anybody that what do you have, like what is this attitude about, anybody will start, making you count their physical property. Like for example, I have got land, I have a big house, so many car, so much gold. Now, all these things are called your physical property. Okay, so we are taught from a very young age that you have to be very protective about your physical property. Like if you buy a house, the first thing that you'll see to it that it is registered under a government agency, right? Even before flaunting it to your loved ones, you will see to it that the property is in your name, right? Now, talking about intellectual property, it discusses about ideas, thoughts, creativity. Now, we are always very protective about our physical property, and we are very liberal when it comes to the matter of intellectual property. Let's take an example to understand. Suppose you call me to have a cup of coffee with you, and when I visited your house, I realized that you have a beautiful villa. Okay, now I'm like, you know what, I love your place. Now you people do one thing, you can pack up your bags and leave. From now on, this house is mine. Can I actually do that? Can I actually ask you to get out from your own house? No, I cannot do that. What rights do you have to prove that the house is yours? Basically, the property papers, right? Using the property papers, you can actually push me out of your house, right? So, we have always protected our physical property. Now, let's talk about the intellectual property. Suppose you're working on a project and you asked me to just have a review of it, and I realized that, oh my God, this is a Eureka project. This is something that people have never been disclosed, and it will give me a huge benefit if I decide to publish your work first. And I go out and decide to write a paper and publish it. Now, do you have any right to come and stop me? Okay, is there any way where you can come and stop me from violating your rights? Basically, no, because there is no proof that I took your work, it was not your work, right? Such things should not happen because you haven't registered it somewhere. That is why I was able to violate your work. Now, the government has come up with a provision called intellectual property rights, IPR, where you can protect your ideas, thoughts, mechanisms, working, research, such that nobody can intrude or misuse or violate your rights. Okay, so today we'll be learning about the four categorization that has been provided in IPR, that is copyright, patent, design, and trademark. We'll understand each category one by one, what it protects, and how, as a student, as a researcher, as a faculty, as an institute, you can take benefit of it. Okay. So, the first topic that we are discussing is copyrights. Copyright is quite simple and interesting. It helps to protect a author's right. That means all of us are academicians, but apart from academics, we are interested into doing something creative, right? Some of us may be good writers, poets, software designers. We write plays and thoughts and music and dance. All these things are called creativity. Now, everything that is done by an artist or an author is protected under copyright. Now, whenever I start discussing copyright, people usually ask me that, why to protect your creativity? That means, suppose I have created a painting, or maybe I have clicked few photographs, or, invented a new dance move. Why do I have to protect it under copyright? I can just publish it online. This is a social media market age era, right? Now, everything that you do can be published online. Then why do you need to protect it using a copyright? Understand. Suppose you have written a beautiful article and you just published it somewhere, okay? Or you clicked the beautiful photographs and you published it online on Instagram or Facebook, say. Now, suppose if somebody decides to copy it, okay, and I decide to publish your work as mine, is there any way you can come and stop me? Basically, no, because anybody can share anything online and there is no way to claim your proprietary right. Now, whenever you publish a work online, there is a timestamp which proves that the work was first published on your site, right? But remember, the timestamp shows the date of publication. It does not show the date of creation or the ownership of creation. Now, what does copyright do? It is like registering your house. When you decide to file a copyright, the date on which the copyright is filed is the date of creation, and the ownership, the name under which the copyright is applied, is the ownership of the work. So by filing a copyright, you actually get your official work registered. So government can support you when somebody decides to misuse your work. See, this is a social media era, right? Suppose I'm reading through a article written by, say, Bill Gates or maybe Steve Jobs or someone, and I loved the article and I decide to publish it onto my wall. Does that mean the work was created by me? No. It just simply means that I decided to share something online, maybe written by somebody else. So similarly, if you publish a work, it just proves that you have published a work. It does not prove your creators, your ownership on the work. So copyright is a legal license that proves the ownership of your work. So whenever you decide to publish a paper, or maybe to write an article, write a book, design a music, design a software, first file the copyright, because the date of filing proves the date of ownership. Suppose this happens with a lot of people who write papers. See, whenever you decide to publish a paper with any of the publication house, they share a terms and conditions page with you. How many of you have very carefully read it? See, I know we all are very competitive and want so many papers published in your name, right? But do you know what the publication house does? In the terms and condition sheet, there is a clause which states that the work that is going to be submitted to the publication house is now on the property of the publication house. So we own the ownership to use, misuse, and publish it the way we want. You, as an author, cannot stop us from doing the same. So now what happens? See, whenever you decide to submit your paper to a publication house, they decide to file for a copyright. True. But they file the copyright as an owner and not as a publisher. And they will mention your name as an author and not as the owner of the work. So let's understand this in a layman language. Suppose you have a beautiful house, okay, and you wanted to rent it out. So you hire a broker, okay, you hire a broker and you ask them, look, I want to list my house so that it can be rented out. So basically there is an agreement between the broker and you that अगर house इतने में जाता है तो इसको इतना % brokerage मिलेगा. So instead of just providing them the brokerage right, you actually sign an agreement giving the entire house in that person's name. So you transfer your entire property to the broker. Will you ever be so careless about your own house? We would never do that. We will be reading the contract 10 times, asking other people to check if there is any loophole. But when it was your intellectual property, a research paper that took you months of editing, reviews, and everything, you just gave it away for free. Haan, le lo, le jao, because I wanted it to be published. So please don't be ever that careless again. First, file for a copyright. Give the publication house only the publisher right. So they can reapply for the copyright, but keeping your ownership, and they will file it as a publisher, not as an owner. So that is the importance of copyright, because if in the future you decide to use your own paper as an article into your book, you won't be allowed to do the same, because who owns the copyright now? The publication house. अब उनसे permission लेना पड़ेगा आपको. So please never be that careless again. Okay, moving on. So here is an example of copyright just to make you understand the importance and impact of it. Now, this is the time when Obama sir was campaigning to be the president of USA. So during one of his seminars or speeches, a press media photographer clicked one of the images that you can see towards your left hand side. Now that image was taken to the press media house and they edited it into a beautiful red-blue combination that you can see towards your right-hand side. Now, once this photo was edited by the press media photographers agency, it was published into different newspapers, online articles, and everywhere. Now, because it was election time, one of Obama sir's council members suggested that, we need new banners and posters to create more impact and to get more votes. So the advertising agency who was responsible for all the PR work of Obama sir, had a person who was so lazy that instead of doing the hard work, they decided to, go through the online site and find an impressive image. And while they were surfing, they found this beautiful red-blue image. So they decided to use this for their new banners. Okay, so they used those same image with the title Hope under it. Now they published the banners all across USA. Very beautiful, very impressive, and people started seeing it as a new image, right? It creates an image. So the press media people who actually created this image came to know about it. They are banners. It is all across USA now. So one of the member from the press media walked into the chamber of, the council office of Obama sir, and they were like, sir, I'm from the media and we saw the very impressive banners that you have printed and just wanted to have a quick talk about it. See, media people will find any topic to discuss. So the council members were so excited that the new banners are catching on. So one of the council member walked into the, towards the media guy and he was like, let's talk in my cabin. We can have a detailed discussion. So they started talking and the media guy was like, sir, talking about the banners, I have a request. So the guy was like, yeah, please tell me. He was like, sir, we want you to remove all the banners right now. You cannot use it. The council member who was talking to him was taken back and he was like, sorry, what? He was like, you cannot use the banners. It was, we won't allow you. The council members, he's a politician, right? So he was like, are you drunk in the morning? Pee ke aaye ho kya? Do you know where you're standing and whom you're talking to? The media guy was very calm. He was like, sir, the photograph in the banner has been created by my agency. We own the copyrights of it. Now, if you don't remove it, we will go down to media. I am the media. And I'll let people know that the person who wants to be the president of USA is currently not even giving us the copyrights. What if tomorrow he gets elected and decides to take away our constitutional rights? See, this was not a big agenda, but such a controversy during the election time will create a lot of impact and might give extra power to the opposition party, right? So the council member was a bit smart and he realized his mistake very soon. He was like, okay, listen, we cannot remove the banners. It's kind of our prestige issue. What will we tell other people? And I know your media, you want to scream at the top of the voice at what has happened. But till the elections are over, we'll ask you to keep your mouth shut. We are not asking you to do anything for free. Tell me what it will cost us. They were talking very diplomatically and they agreed. The amount was never officially disclosed, but they were paid in millions to just keep their mouth shut. Until the elections are over, this news never came out. And after the elections, nobody cared. Okay? Because he was one of the, the new hope of USA. So that is the power of copyright. If you have copyrights, you can actually stop powerful people from misusing your work. If you can stop the president of USA, you can actually stop any company or any person misusing it. But you have to have an official copyright file to take any legal action. Okay. Now, talking about the real world, how it impacts. See, in coming few years, you will be joining companies, right? You will be making softwares. You will be working for different companies or having your own company in future. Understand the importance of copyright. Currently, as a student, as a faculty, as a part of an educational system, you can use anything that is available online. You want to create a project, copy paste, not a big problem. But as soon as you enter an industry where everything is commercialized, this will play a bigger role. Now, here is an example of Tata Consultancy and Services. Now, we all know Tata Consultancy and Services, right? They are one of the biggest hiring firms here in India, right? Every person who is a part of engineering college knows about them. They have a very superb hiring firm and they have been a part of recruitment for so long. Now, what happened is, do you know what Tata Consultancy does? They usually take foreign projects and work as a back-end team for these US based company. Now, Epic System is a software manufacturing company in USA. Now, they developed a software for medical chains in USA. Now, to manage the back-end work, the maintenance, the database management, all those services, they hired Tata Consultancy because basically the labor charge is too high in USA and it's not that much when we come to the matter of India. So they hired Tata Consultancy from India and, they decided, so they had always signed a contract. So when a third party company enters, to any of the copyright firm, any of the firm that is working on a software sector, they have a third party confidentiality agreement. So they signed an agreement which states that we will be sharing our confidential data, our clients' databases, all those backhand work with you. You, as a third party, will be responsible only for the maintenance and managing purposes. You cannot use any of our data for your benefit or breach it in any way. Now, basically, who signs these agreements? The managers, the management of the company usually signs it, right? But who does come to work in these companies? Basically, the engineers, the lower, the what do you call the technical people of the company, right? So the people who came to work on the software and the management sector were not aware of any of these confidentiality agreement. See, believe me, I have been in this in this industrial world for past 9-10 years, and the only thing that I have realized is the knowledge of IPR is very less in India, very less. And I have been a part of an R&D company and realized people don't know the importance of copyright, patent and trademark here in India, and they have been violating it very brutally because of lack of knowledge. So having that is very much important. So the person who came down to work was not aware of the IPR clause, and when he returned back to India, he was quite impressed about the the working of the software and making and everything. So he came back and suggested it to his people that we should also create a software for the hospital chains here in USA. It works brilliantly and it's quite impressive. We should have one. So they developed a software named Mid Mantra and installed it into different hospital chains here in India. Epic Systems came to know about it. They slapped TCS with an reimbursement amount without with a compensation amount of $940 million. So here, this contract was signed by the management, basically the employees. Then the software was violated by the employees, created by the employees. But end of the day, the company, Tata Consultancy, was liable to pay the compensation for it. So please, whenever you enter an industry or decide to design something that will have a commercial value, जिससे आप पैसे कमा सकते हो, anything of that sort, please do not copy paste, because a copy paste can cost you huge amount of money. Okay, and copyright violations are so serious in India that if found guilty, either you will have to reimburse the entire amount, or else you will be put into jail for a term of 7 years. So copyright violation has such big consequences, so never take it lightly. Okay, so here we have a few Q&A questions which will help you to understand the concept better. So what does copyright actually protect? It protects the expression of work. It does not protect the idea. It protects the expression in which you have written, represented, or the concept behind it. Like for example, if I click a photograph or paint a sunset, I cannot protect the idea of sunset, right? Sunset is open for all, but the way I see it, I have painted it, or I have clicked the photograph is what is protected under copyright. One of the best example is the we all know Eiffel Tower, right? The beautiful structure in Paris. Many of you might have thought to visit it once, right? So the photograph of Eiffel Tower at night with all the lightings is a protected photographic image. You can click the photograph for sure, but you cannot sell the picture of Eiffel Tower clicked at night commercially, because the copyright of that photo is protected by a company. So now you understand the importance of it. Similarly, is the image of, talking about India, we know the Taj Hotel here in India that is beautifully established in Mumbai. The photograph of Taj Hotel cannot be clicked and used commercially. मतलब आप उसे कोई भी बैनर पे, पोस्टर पे यूज नहीं कर सकते. You are not allowed to do that. The Taj Hotel people have the rights over it. So you need to understand the importance of everything that you do. So the expression of it is protected. Okay. Where can I file an application for the copyright work? So please understand, India has only one copyright office that is established in Delhi. So all the applications are filed in Delhi. But that does not mean you have to go and travel to Delhi to file it. It's an online procedure. Okay. So you'll have to create an account on copyright.gov.in, file your copyright, and your work has to be posted to the copyright office in Delhi. Okay. That's it. So that is all about copyright. If you have any doubt, towards the end of the session, we'll have a 10 minutes quick Q&A, so all your doubts can be addressed. So talking about the next topic, that is trademark filing. Now, trademark filing is basically related to branding. That means the thing that provides an identity to a product, an institution, or any form of object is called trademarking. Like for example, suppose you want to buy a buy a product of a very famous company. How do you realize that it is authentic, or you realize that this is the company? Basically using its name, logo, symbols, taglines, jingles, right? All these things provide identity to a product. Now suppose I'm driving from, say, Gujarat to Mumbai, okay, and I'm hungry, I want to eat something, but I need to see that it is quite from a good place, right? So I will always prefer to eat at a good food chain, right? Because they at least maintain the hygiene, or the food recipe is quite safe and it's all freezed and all those things, right? So if I'm driving and I'll find a capital yellow M, I'll immediately recognize that it is McDonald's, right? So McDonald's has its yellow M trademark. Nobody else can use that yellow M in the sector of food chain all across the world, because it has been applied for trademark. Okay. Similarly, if you're going to buy a t-shirt and you find a small tick mark, you will immediately recognize that it is Nike. Okay. So Nike has its tick mark even trademarked. Okay. Every company files for a trademark such that nobody else, no competitor company can use that mark, name, or symbol taglines for their competitive products and violate the customers. Because see, we trust a product, we recognize a product, and if anything similar is created, it might create confusion, ambiguity in the market. So just to avoid that, the trademark filing is done. Few more interesting things are trademark, like sound, smell, dialogue, voice, three-dimensional design. Now understand why. Suppose I decide to buy a perfume. Okay, so apart from the brand name, I'll definitely check how good the perfume smells. Now I'm spending 1,500 or 2,000 on a perfume, so I need to know that it smells good, right? So every big perfume manufacturers, whenever they design a new smell to a perfume, they will have it officially trademarked, so that no competitor company can launch a similar smell in the market. Okay, not even with a slight variation which can confuse the audience. Okay, similarly, talking about sound, voice, dialogue, when we were kids, we used to watch Tom and Jerry, right? So you might have seen that first image where a lion roars, right? So that sound is so nostalgic to us. We remember the time when we used to come down from school and just click the TV and that sound comes on and we are into an experience of something good. That sound is an official trademark of the company, and nobody except MGM can use that sound. And that sound has been licensed to big companies such that that sound can give all of us an experience, that a feeling that you're going to enter a very good time of your life watching the movie. And apart from MGM, nobody else can use that sound or license it. That is the power of trademark filing. Okay. Now, these are few of India's famous trademark, like Amitabh Bachchanji's voice. His voice cannot be used into any of the commercial sectors or sell a product without approaching him, taking his permission, and paying him good royalty for it. Similarly, Sunny Deol's voice is similarly trademarked. Now, few of the cricketers and actors have their own name trademark. Like in India, Sachin Tendulkar, the entire name is trademark protected. Shah Rukh Khan has SRK protected. Narendra Modi sir has Namo protected, NAMO. Okay, so can I trademark my own name? Can I trademark Pooja Menon? Can I do that? No, I cannot do that, because I am not a brand, but these people are. If somebody decides to, say, open a fish market and name it Sachin Tendulkar Fish Market, people will be like, why did Sachin Bhai have to open a fish market in his name? Right? People might get confused about it. So, all these celebrities who are actually a brand and support good causes have the rights to restrict other people from violating it. Suppose I start a, tobacco center and I name it as SRK Tobaccos. So a person who supports cancer patients and have been against such things, and if his name is used with a cancer producing product, he might feel offended about it, right? So government provides him with the right to stop others from violating his credentials, his values, and only for that they are allowed to apply for a trademark. But as an individual, if I as a person want to apply for a trademark, what can I do? Suppose I want to start a business of mine, or I want to write a book, or start a website, or start my own company. In that case, I can apply for a trademark of those names. Maybe the name of my book, maybe a name of my company, maybe a name of my website. If I design a product, I want to call that product something, I can apply for a trademark. So one of the best examples, the people who created Xerox. Okay, so the people who invented the Xerox have the word Xerox trademarked. But the problem was they did not protect it correctly. There was a time when the name Xerox was not renewed to be proprietary protected, and it became public. And now we all use making copies of papers as Xerox. Okay, the word zip, the zip that is used to close a dress or a pant or something, that is even an official trademark. The other is the word Jeep. Jeep is a big company, you all know that, right? It's a brand like Maruti and Honda and Hyundai. But they were the first people who came up with the concept of Jeep, and now that vehicle structure is called Jeep. So that is how important trademarking is. Okay. Now, I hope trademark is quite clear. If you have any doubt, please write it down on the in the chat box so we can take it towards the end of the session. Okay, so the next topic that you all have been waiting for is called patent. Now, as I told you, we can protect artistic work or a brand name under copyright or trademark respectively. Copyright does not protect the idea, right? It protects the expression of work. So that means anything illogical, if I decide to paint, I can apply for a copyright. But talking about patent, it protects ideas, innovations, design, machines, process, mechanisms. All those things are protected under patent, and it has to be logical. That means you cannot come up with a hypothetical idea and decide to patent it. Okay, you cannot come and tell me that, I have a formula. Sorry, I have a method. You can make any person distinguish. Sorry, just gayab kar do is person ko. Now the registry will ask you, how are you doing it? So you cannot say it's magic. Okay, you will have to explain to them the method, the formulation, the structure that you're using to make that happen. Similarly is the concept of time travel. It's beautifully explained, but till it is not logically explained, it is still a hypothetical idea. And till it's a hypothetical idea, you can give it your own name but cannot patent the concept. Okay, so if you want to patent, you will have to have a logical explanation to it. The registry will ask you why you're doing it and how you're doing it. If you do not have the answer to how, you cannot apply for a patent. So basically, patent has been categorized into three categories. One is called the utility patent, that is the process patent. Second is called the design patent, that is called the structural patent. And third is called genomically engineered plant patents. Okay, so now plant patents are usually involving the mutation or maybe the DNA modification or hybridization of plants. So we can remove it because I believe this is an engineering college. We do not deal with plant hybridization. So we will be focusing on utility patent and design patent. Now, let's understand the difference between the same. Now, this is a cup. Okay. Now, what is this cup or mug used for? Basically, to fill in a cup of coffee or maybe something hot or cold, right? Mm. Okay. So, when I talk about a cup, if I decide to change the shape of this, there are so many cups and mugs that are available in the market. So, if I decide to change the shape of it, I'll apply for a design patent. Understand? Suppose if I am an adult and if I want to hold a cup, I can do it with my one hand, right? If there is just one handle, I can do it. Even if you fill it till the top, I can still use it because I can balance the cup. Now think if there is a toddler or maybe a small kid, maybe 3 or 4 years of age, and if I hand him or her this cup, will he be able to hold this cup balancing it? They have small tiny unbalanced hands, right? They will drop this cup. So what a genius person did is they designed one more handle to the cup, so now the child can grip it from both the end and he can comfortably drink it, right? So whenever two handles are provided, I just changed the structure of the cup. I did not make any logical or working change into the cup. The cup is still being used to drink a hot or cold beverage. But the two support that gave a different design structure help for better gripping. So now that will be applied under a design patent because it is not doing any process. It is just a structural change which help into doing something better. Now, that is will fall under design patent. Talking about utility patent. Now, suppose I'm a very lazy person. I'm just saying suppose I'm not a lazy person. Yeah, if you don't ask my mother. Okay, now suppose I have a cup. Now I love to have a good cup of coffee in the morning. During the lockdown, because we had a lot of time, we used to make Delcuna coffees, right? You have to whip the coffee, sugar, and water for a good long like minutes. And once the coffee is frothed, you'll add a good cup of milk, hot or cold, and you can sip it. It tastes fantastic. Now imagine waking up 5 o'clock in the morning and start beating the coffee. It's a painful procedure. You cannot do that every day. So because I'm an engineer, what I decide, I'll make it automatic. So I have a switch, a small motor, a small stick extension, and when the motor rotates, when I switch it on, the it will start beating the ingredients in the cup. Whatever I put, it will start beating. So कितने टाइम तक उसको बीट करना है, I can decide. I'll start and stop. Okay. So the only hard work I had to do is the concentration of material that I have to put. Now that can vary as per the person. Okay, you can even engineer that if you want to do it high end karna hai, so you can do that. But till now I can put the cup of the 1 tablespoon of sugar, a good 2 tablespoon of coffee, and a bit of water. I can do that. So I've done that and just switch it on. Then I'll just have to wait. I'll beautifully wait, and once it is done to my consistency, I'll just switch it off, pour hot or cold milk as per my convenience, and have a good cup of coffee in the morning. So now, when I changed the functionality of a cup from a normal cup, I made it into a frothing cup. Yeah, I know the people who are very rich will have a frothing machine and froth maker and all. I I don't want that. I want my cup to do it. I don't want a frothing machine. So what I did was I made the cup a frothing cup. Now when I changed the functionality of the cup, I added features, components to make it more smart. I will apply it under utility patent. Okay, so when you have a product or when you're doing a research or when you're going to pick up projects in your future, think in a perspective whether you can apply for a utility or design or both. Now when I have a mechanized automatic cup, I definitely have utility patent, but because the structure has changed now with all the components and the beautification of an automatic cup, I can also apply it under design patent. So I have two patents now in my name. And believe me, the best part about patent is if I can think of a concept, I do not need a prototype for filing. This is a big misconception here in India, and the patent offices here in India have been propagating that thought for a long time. They have tried to make all the innovators understand they do not need a project, they do not need a prototype. Suppose you're currently in your first year, second year, you have a good idea, file that idea for patent. You can design the prototype once you're in your third year or fourth year, but protect your idea today. Don't wait till your prototype is ready, because an idea has a shelf life of a banana. We have always been telling that. All our speakers have been telling that. Once you have put your idea in the open, it would take seconds for it to go bad. So please do not do that. If you have an idea, file it today. It's not that big of an expensive thing. Only having an idea is important. Filing an idea is not that difficult. Okay? So, in the world, 90% of the patents are filed on improvements. That means 10% of the ideas are new from the scratch. That means something that, nobody thought about and it came into existence. But 90% of the ideas are improvement on those 10%. You look at a product and you're like, मजा नहीं आ रहा, कुछ नया करते हैं. Once you think कुछ नया करते हैं and you decide to change the design or working mechanism or anything into the existing cup, you can apply for a patent. Okay, if you just go on to Amazon or Flipkart, you will find so many designs of cups and mugs and toothbrushes, and every small thing that you touch in your day-to-day life has been modified. Every modification has been applied for a patent. Okay. Now, this is one of the biggest examples of how things have been changing around us. So there was a time where people used to, have gramophones to listen to music. Okay, they had this big type of, collections of CDs, of cassettes, and that used to just go around. You know how the gramophone works, right? You might have seen it in cartoons, because I don't think our generation had a gramophone with us. Maybe our grandparents did. So there was. A collection of people used to have that. Then there came a time of cassette players, okay, the tape recorders. It was fun. Everybody had a cassette. You have to just flip it and put it again to play the next set of music. Then there was a time of CD players, okay. More music can be stored than the cassette players. Then there came a generation of Walkmans, iPods, and now your phone is more than enough to listen to music, right? We can listen to live music from anywhere across the world. Now that is the time we are living in. But somebody, during the duration thought that if I want to listen to music walking, you cannot carry a gramophone or a tape recorder and walk on the street. Somebody came up with the concept of a walkman, right, where you can just plug it and you can just walk on the street dancing, right? So that is the change that our era started seeing, right? Everything around us started to change. There was a time where I remember my parents going down to STD PCO and giving a call to another person. Every minute was so expensive. I remember people paying 10 rupees for 10 rupees, 20 rupees for per minute. So they used to just start and stop the call. There was a time where you people had landline phones, right? The pain of landline phones. If you decide to talk or gossip with your best friend, it's very difficult because your parents might be watching. You cannot leave the room because the line is connected to your handset. Then there came a time of cordless phones, so at least you could leave the room and just shut yourself and start the talk. But now we all have mobile phones, right? Every person has a mobile phone, and it's so convenient and not at the same time, right? Because you have a mobile phone, you can talk to any person from anywhere. And the other thing is that every people think that you will have to talk to them because you have a mobile phone. It's painful and helpful at the same time. Okay, so everything around you has changed so much, and it is because of patents, innovations, thinking out of the box by everyone. Okay, now, talking about difference between utility patent and the importance of thinking about an idea. See, you can get an idea when you think about the problems around you. Now, Apple is a company with geniuses of beautiful ideas. They are into making everything innovative. Now, there is a time where we are all going to talk about bendable and foldable phones, right? We are all waiting for this revolution to happen. We have been listening to it for years now, bendable and foldable phones. Now what happened was, Apple was having a discussion in their company, and a group of technical people were talking like, we have to be in the race of bendable foldable phones. Now the patent of that is with different companies like Samsung and LG and all those companies. So what can we do to be in the race? So one of the genius person, a technical person, came up with the idea, was like, let's create foldable, bendable, adjustable mobile covers. Now, think you have a mobile cover right now, okay? And it is either made of plastic or rubber. For a straight phone which does not bend, the cover is perfect, okay? It is providing all the protection that is required. But suppose your phone bends. If you have a plastic cover, the phone won't bend. So spending so much money on a bendable phone is not worth. Apart from that, suppose you have a rubber cover, it might bend. But have you ever seen, if you have a straight rubber cover and if your phone bends and if your cover decide to bend, it will bulge out. Okay, it will bulge from sides. And imagine you have a 1 lakh worth phone in your hand and a bad mobile cover. We as human don't change phones as much as we change the phone covers because we want something fancier. Every 3 months we want something more fancier. So Apple decided to have a proprietary phone cover made with a new combination of layering of clothing and plastic and all those combination, which will be attached to the phone in such a manner that it will bend and flex, keeping the structure of the phone and protecting the phone cover. So they designed a new layer of phone cover, which will be the composition, the making of that cover was protected under utility patent. And when that was designed into a structure, it was applied for a design patent because there were cuttings and holes and all those things, rubber cushioning and everything. So that was put into design patent also. Okay, so similarly, if you just look around, there are so many problems that you can solve, and every problem, if you find a solution, you can apply for a patent. People have found solutions to very small things, making a door soundproof, making the corner of the table anti like it cannot hurt you much, the foot of the bed. How many of you have got hurt in your tiny finger because you decided to walk very close to your bed? These are real life problems, and people have tried to find solutions for it. Similarly, the problems that strikes you every day is a problem that you can find solution and you can apply for a patent. And remember, When we are talking about patent, it does not have to be a gigantic thing. It has to be something practical everybody can use. And when you can make that 1% change into any product, you can be a millionaire in no time. Because market wants something that you can use today, not something that you can use after 10 years. Okay. Apple is a beautiful example. In one mobile phone, they have more than 200 patents. Imagine a phone is this size, it has 200 patents. So imagine how many things you can find in the things around you. Okay. Now, this is India's youngest patent holder. Talking about ideas, talking about innovations, talking about patents, this is what I want to tell you. There is no age barrier, educational barrier, or any of that sort. If you have invention, innovation, talk about that, file for a patent. Rideshwar Bhatti filed his first patent at the age of 9. And by the age of 14, he was almost a patent holder of 10, 10 ideas. We actually sadly He was sadly handicapped. He had few of health issues. We lost him during pandemic, but before he left all of us, he was the youngest patent holder here in India, and after him there has been none. Imagine, for the past so many years I have been just talking about him because he was the youngest patent holder here in India. You can create the change if you want to. Okay. So here are a few question and answers that we have arranged for just your understanding. Can any invention be patent after publication or display in the public exhibition? Now, this is one of the very important question which we have tried to explain to people. Do not publish your idea in any form before applying for a patent. Never do that. See, as per the government rule, if any idea is in public before the patent has been filed, it loses its novelty. Novelty means its uniqueness. Okay, it's a distinguishing factor, and that is why we as Indians have very low patent count, because we are all into paper publication. If you can ask any person around you how many papers you have, they'll start making you count 50 publications. We are in the scholars, we have so many books published. Talk about patents. There are geniuses in India who have zero patents because they published all their work. And once your paper or article or research is published, you cannot apply for a patent. And you lose the novelty of it. It's not because India does not have geniuses, it's just because we decided to publish papers than filing for a patent. So please, if you decide to file for a patent, if you are working on some research right now, file a patent today and then you can publish the paper tomorrow. It's no big deal. Okay. Is there any jurisdiction for filing patent application in India? So usually people ask me, हमें patent कहाँ file करना है? Where should we file it? So basically, India has 4 patent offices. One is in Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, and Delhi. So every state has been provisioned into few all these jurisdictions. Like suppose if you are from state of Maharashtra, Gujarat, you know, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, your jurisdiction falls into Mumbai office. Suppose you are from the state of Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, then your jurisdiction falls into Chennai office. If you are from the east, it goes to what do you call, Kolkata office, and if you are from the up north, it will go into Delhi office. So based on the first applicant, means the address of the first person that you are entering into the database, it will fall into that jurisdiction. So because you're from the state of Karnataka, you will have your jurisdiction in Chennai. But you do not have to travel to Chennai to file it. There is an online filing provision. You can any day use that to file your own patent. Okay. What is the term of patent? Talking about utility patent, it is for a term of 20 years only. After the 20 years have been completed, the idea becomes public for anybody to use. See, patent is always done for human benefit as per the government. So once you have earned a good amount of royalty, then the idea will become public. Okay. Does Indian patent give protection worldwide? So please understand, there is nothing called as worldwide patent. कोई भी international patent, कोई भी international protection provide नहीं करता. Nobody gives you, you file a patent in this country and you have patent rights all over the world. No. The country in which you file for a patent is the country you have rights in. Okay, you can stop from anybody from using, manufacturing, selling in that same country. But suppose your idea you have filed in India and somebody in Sri Lanka decides to use your idea, you cannot go and stop them until and unless you file a patent in Sri Lanka also. So there is a provision called PCT services, Patent Cooperation Treaty, under which you can file in different countries using a same portal. Right now, it is not important. You just need to understand that the country in which you are born, you have to apply in that country first, and then you can apply for patents in different countries also. But until and unless you have applied for a patent in that country, you cannot stop that country from using your idea. But if you have applied it here, you can stop Sri Lankans to sell those idea in your country also. Okay. Does patent require any renewal? Talking about renewal, utility patent, yes. Once your patent has been granted, from the third year, you will have to keep on renewing it till the term of 20 years. And for design patent, the rights are provided for the first 10 years, and you can renew it for 5 more years. Okay. And this is one of the statistics which has brilliantly changed here in this year. In the year 2019, just before the pandemic hit, it was an impressive performance by China, where they filed only in the year 2019. ये एक साल का report है. In the year 2019, China filed around 15 lakh 42,000 patents. USA filed around 5 lakh 97 patents, and India filed only around 50,000 patent, which till date is only 65,000 only. Okay, even though being a population of 135 crores, 134, 35 crores and rising, still our patent count is not impressive that much. Okay, the only reason, there are so many factors that has impacted, but look at China. And the war, you can see that there has been a huge difference between China and USA. Okay, there is almost 10 lakh filing difference, and it is because China patents everything that they find unique, they'll apply for a patent. They have knowledge in that regards. In India, we lack knowledge. We lack. There was so much misguidance in the market. The fees was way too high. But right now, under the present ruling government, the biggest benefit that has happened to the educational institute was basically the filing cost of an educational institute was around 40 to 50,000 per application. Right now, they have brought it down 5 times, and currently the fees is only around 6,500 to 8,000 for an educational institute, which is a natural person filing fees. So they have brought down the educational institute's fees to a natural person filing fees to promote more filing. And there are so many schemes that has been provided to educational institute, like the Kapila scheme, where even the government fees is reimbursed to the college for filing patents. So now is the right time to take a step, have established an IP cell so that you can promote more IPR activities, because this is the right time where so many provisions, fundings, and all those things have been provided for supporting research and patent filing activities in an educational institute. Okay. Now, what do we do as a team? So basically, we work as a backbone to the educational institute. See, as an educational institute, you are involved in so many things, right? In the educational sectors, research, and all those things. We as an IP team helps to identify what are the unique parameters in a particular research. Can we enhance the idea that has already been published? See, the biggest problem right now, which so many colleges faces, including the national level colleges, is that they have published so many beautiful ideas. So what we do is we collaborate with innovators and help to enhance the idea, improve the idea, find something patentable to apply for a patent. And that is where we work as a virtual R&D team to it. We are not just patent filers here in India. We help with the virtual R&D so that every idea which has been published and has a scope of enhancement, we can help with respect to same. These are few of the ideas which we have helped different sectors, maybe medical, maybe agricultural. We have helped so many people across India with so many sessions and seminars to improve the idea and have patents over it. Okay, so that is all for today, and I hope we'll soon have a workshop where I can actually teach you how to draft and file. But till then, if you have any queries, we can discuss one by one. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the talk, ma'am. Actually, here our students are present in the seminar hall and they're listening to you. Okay. And they don't have the access to the mic, so I'll be asking the questions from their end. So I have one query from the student point of view. Is there any age limit for the patent filing or any degree is required to file a patent?
No, ma'am. If you are talking about a patent filing, basically you do not need any degree or anything to file. If Rideshwar Bhatti, who was only 9 years old, can file, anybody can file. You just have to log into the government website, create a document, and you can just submit it. So no age barrier, no degree barrier, nothing to file, because the government will only ask your name and address to file for a patent. So nothing of that sort is required.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So today, ma'am has clearly given a description about physical and intellectual property rights and also the importance of copyright forms, the power of having a copyright, case studies of TCS and Epic systems, what goes wrong if it is not filed the patent properly or anything, and the importance of trademark and branding is being discussed, where the trademark is not only for the logo, it can be for sound, fragrance, anything, it has been told. So almost the patenting and the branding, it covers almost everything. Along with that, there is a limitation for branding also, which ma'am has clearly told about it. When it comes to patenting, the students, as an engineering students, we can go ahead with utility patent and design patent. What are the scope of patents and where we can file the patent? So, as ma'am told, our head office, or as a Karnataka student, our head office goes to Chennai zone. Am I right, ma'am?
Yes, 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 ma'am.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the novelty of patent should be before publication. That's what madam has made it a clear point. It should be before publication and before getting into a project exhibition. So don't carry your ideas anywhere before filing a patent. That's what she pointed it very specifically. So thank you for giving such a clarified information for the students. So this valuable suggestions or the presentation given by you will be very helpful for our students in going ahead with the patenting part. Thank you so much for the presentation, ma'am.
Thank you.
So we shall wind up the session, ma'am, for the day.
Sure. Sure.
Thank you.
Ma'am, if
Thank you very much.
anybody has any time, any doubt, they can mail us or call us, and we
Yeah.
can resolve the same.
Yes, ma'am. Sure. We will pass your contact details to our student group. At any time, they will approach you.
Sure, sure,
And
ma'am.
we
Thank
also
you.
help our students to for the filing the patents and supporting their research activities.
Sure, ma'am. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.